What's up, Juventini? Yesterday we heard about 4 top targets at striker position for Juventus going into the summer. Today we get the demands of one of those names. We'll go through the details and see if he's still gonna be a target or not. Then you get to the midfield rundown. One midfielder proposed to Juventus, another one being Sandro Tonali, with new details emerging there that maybe, just maybe, give us a shot at signing him. We'll go through that. And then Tudor, ready to shut down Koopmeiners. We'll go through all of that together right now. I'm Berto. This is the AJC, your channel dedicated to Juventus. It's April 2nd. Let's rock with the news. Now, first up, it is April 2nd, but Nico Schira decides to give us a little behind the scenes news as to what went down in January, claiming that Juve made active attempts and moves to sign Bryan Cristante for Thiago Motta as he admired him for his tactical versatility. Tactical versatility? Bryan Cristante? This would have been a sackable offense for all involved as far as I'm concerned, all right? Dear Lord, help us. April Fool's Day was yesterday, Nico Schira. Knock it off. Anyways, we got to get to real candidates, real targets. Jonathan David, all right? The Canadian international has been long named as a target of Giuntoli's. Apparently, his demands, though, are $9 million net salary, all right, which would actually, once you tack in agent fees, bring him to an annual cost of somewhere around 30 million euros. That might take him out of contention for Juventus if there are other clubs out there willing to give him that 9 million net. For reference, Dusan Vlahovic, where he is at now before bonus, is at 10.5 million net. Okay, it is gross that has Dusan Vlahovic around the 20s, and we would be looking at doing pretty much the same thing with Jonathan David. So those demands might rule him out. When we get to the middle of the pitch, well, Florentino Luis is a name that has come up, him being 25-year-old midfielder from Benfica. Apparently, he has been proposed to several clubs looking for a change, and one of them has been Juventus. Will they act? The dream chase is still Sandro Tonali. Juve have had indirect contacts already at looking at the potential to make this move go down. Juve knows it's going to be around 60 to 70 million euros. But today we hear that Douglas Luiz does have some interest from Newcastle, but there are 2 other players that also have interest from Newcastle. That is Federico Gatti and Dusan Vlahovic. So now, all of a sudden, this seems like if that interest is real, if you work 2 names in this to get that deal over the line, all of a sudden, it does seem likely. You talk about salaries with Jonathan David. Well, Tonali has a high salary as well. So there would have to be some work done there as well. Look, I still say it's highly, highly doubtful. But dreaming is free, everybody. That's the latest on Tonali. For me, Luiz and Vlahovic, that's a no-brainer. And I would pull the trigger immediately. All right, immediately. But if we sent both of those players over there, I would expect a little cash coming back our way. Now, would Newcastle do that? Absolutely not. So, still going to be a difficult move. But that's the latest around Tonali. When we get to Koopmeiners, our current midfielder, the struggles have been real this season. Apparently, Tudor is tossing around the idea of shutting him down completely for 2 weeks, which would essentially be 2 matches. Roma next, a big one, and it doesn't seem like he's likely to start. And I think that's the right decision. But apparently the plan is to give this guy a reset mentally and physically and then try a relaunch. Look, you could see it clear as day. He took a shot against Genoa early in that match. He sent that thing into orbit. It still hasn't landed. Everybody on the planet is on alert for when that thing's going to be sailing down from the sky. But The struggles are real because you could see his immediate reaction that early into a game. One shot like that had to be consoled by Locatelli immediately. This guy hasn't got it right up here. The shirt, it might bear too much weight, but a reset, this is kind of worst case scenario. A healthy scratch to try and get this guy back and going. Hopefully it works, but you know what? I would agree. He does need a break. At bare minimum, needs to play from the bench. And I still don't believe that the role he was used in against Genoa is the right role. It's either working out of the midfield completely or nothing at all. But what do you think? Hit me in the comments. Now, when we get to Tudor, more plans. Obviously, he is going to be continuing with that 3-4-2-1, and he believes Savona can develop into a high-level player in a back three setup. Obviously, we're keeping with the back three. Savona named as one of those backups, and even Locatelli. Gil Push called up. Tudor not stopping his plans. There's a double training session set today. Then the team is going to go and bond over a dinner at Bonucci's restaurant. Kenan Yildiz, he shined for Tudor in that 3-4-2-1 setup in the first match against Genoa. We will need him to be big and come up clutch against Roma this weekend as well. The Yildiz rumors, through intermediaries, there's been a lot of speculation around a possible transfer coming up this summer. There is almost a guarantee that there will be offers put on the table, but the messages for the past week have been steady. Kenan Yildiz wants to remain at Juventus, and what I said a few days ago has been reiterated by media now that that bond coming in from Elkan gives us the protection to not have to sell over and above what the original plans were going into this summer, whether we make top four or not. There you have it, everybody. That's your news break. You all know the drill. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, join our AJC army, but let me know what you think about all the news you just heard here today. Let's mix it up, and I'm back tomorrow, as always, with another edition. Till then, fino alla fine, forza Juventus. Ciao tutti.